Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's the After Hours Report coming at you a little later. I just landed in Maui, Hawaii. Beautiful, spectacular place. But on the whole plane ride, I was thinking the same thing. Something feels off with the earnings that we've had. It feels different. We have companies that are reporting strong earnings this last week, and their stocks are falling. Microsoft is a great example. Beat expectations on revenue, earnings per share, lost 12% the next day, almost $400 billion in market cap. Western Digital, solid earnings, but did nothing. The market didn't respond. And then we see a company like Meta, and Meta ripped right after their earnings. And what's the difference? What's changed? There is something I thought of, and once you hear it, you let me know your thoughts as well, because it might help explain everything that is happening in today's market. So before we jump in, guys, please give me a like. It makes a big difference to the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. First thing to understand, I want to lay the groundwork, is this has not been a bad earnings season. I know you guys can agree with me. Drop a comment if you agree. It's been a fabulous earnings season. Companies are beating revenues, beating expectations. Revenues are growing. Margins are stabilizing, but the market is acting different because it's no longer focused on the past quarter. This is one of the big revelations for me this last week, is that what earnings seasons used to be all about was what happened. Let's get a reflective view on what happened in the prior quarter. But now it's shifted to what's next. It's no longer about beating revenue, beating earnings per share, demonstrating that demand is there for your product. Now it's all around forward guidance. What is going to happen in the next quarter? This is what matters more than anything else. It's the most important number. And it's not just the guidance, though. It's how your management team, how they communicate it, the confidence they have in communicating it. We saw the big difference when we looked at Microsoft. The street didn't feel comfortable with the amount of CapEx investment they have, with the Azure growth that we saw, even though it was 39%. And then you compare that to Meta, where they just came out very confidently and explained how their AI investment is turning into revenue. In fact, they are investing $135 billion committing to this year, but they've demonstrated how that will equate to revenue, and the street investors loved it. So this is the biggest shift I see, is that we are moving from the market is no longer impressed by just AI spending alone. We've talked about it before. We're moving from this investment story or this investment promise I've mentioned before, to now investors want to see it turn to profit, or at least turn to pricing power for the company. This is why earnings season feels different to me. The bar has moved. It's not AI promise anymore. It's AI profit. You know, in prior years like 2024, by just saying you were investing in AI was enough for the market. It was enough for investors. But now we're moving to the sentiment where everyone is investing tons in AI. Now we want to know, what is the payoff? How is that going to equate to monetization? How is it going to equate to revenue? And this is where the memory companies have a unique position in the whole gameplay, because we know when you talk about companies in memory, we're talking about building data centers and AI servers or on-device AI. It all requires memory, DRAM, NAND, HBM. When you're looking at an AI server to a CPU to a GPU, it all requires memory. This is why companies like Micron are so poised right now to meet the demand and continue to have a bull run. But what's different this season, there's two things happening at the same time, which is very unique. The demand is real, the demand in the market for AI, but the customer demand isn't collapsing. You just take a look at Apple's earnings. They had massive sales for iPhones, best in the history of the company. So the market feels conflicted because the spending is high and the returns are not evenly visible yet. And it really comes down to your leadership, and the leadership that for the companies that can clearly explain the future get rewarded. For the ones that can't, are getting punished, like Microsoft. And that's why, to me, why the earnings feels different this year. It's not because the fundamentals are different. It's because the expectations are higher. You see this graphic on the street. It's like AI spending versus AI profits. They're battling back and forth consistently. This, to me, is the shift. We're moving where the key going forward isn't just about beating earnings anymore. It's about who can explain their spending and how it will pay off for the long run for the company and ultimately how it will pay off for us as investors. That's what the earnings season is all about now. And once we understand that and we feel comfortable with it, the market starts to feel less random, let's say. And it also makes me think about the earnings that we have coming up this week or next week. Sorry, it's Saturday, next week with Google and Amazon. Will they take and learn lessons from what we saw with Microsoft and Meta and Tesla this past week? Will they demonstrate more confidence in communicating their CapEx spend, their investment in AI, and how it is equating it to revenues? Because clearly, that's what the market wants to see. And if we want to see, stocks continue to move in the right direction for both Google and Amazon, I sure hope that they're ready to demonstrate with confidence that how their spending and their investment in AI is going to equate to profits. So let me know what you guys think. Do you feel a shift in the earnings seasons? Do you think it's also about moving away from this promise to now profits, and also really dependent on how the leadership and management, how they visibly display and discuss the investment and how it's turning into revenues for the company? Let me know your thoughts below, but I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.